It's the Archivist, y'all. Exclusively interviewing Babylon Warchild.
What's going on,
What?
Respect for having us once again. You know what I mean? This guy lost our archives.
Yeah, sorry about that, but we're working on
So
getting
we're
that back.
Everything's for a reason, though, man, because a lot of things have been happening. So it's a perfect. Everything happens during perfect timing. Even when you go through certain struggles, we learn through our journeys. Everything's for a reason. So it all works out for a reason. You know what I mean? So now we're here with a lot more information.
I wasn't there the last
And yo, KDB wasn't there. Yeah.
And now we're catching up with Babylon Warchild.
Yeah, definitely.
And who is Babylon Warchild?
Well, for the members that are here right now is Unknown Misery. I've been making music for a long time. I represent Babylon Warchild. Here we got
KDB, also making music for like eons. You know what I mean?
And Rumpelstilts, I play the cello and make beats.
And we got Fresco P, basically Free Fresco P. Systemic issues are all around the planet, which we speak about as it is on our music. So peace to Fresco P, he'll be out soon, and you'll hear more of him, and peace to Legitimate, who couldn't be here with us on this journey this time around.
And elaborate on the forming of the group and what inspired to come with the order to be involved with Babylon Warchild.
Well, yo, started off the Empty-Handed Warrior album with produced by Anyway Jones. I needed a place to record that album. I met Raph. We're doing a track
With Dynamo,
off
Big
of
Up
Dynamo
Dynamo.
Beat, Big Up Dynamo. It was called A Bigger Picture. And then from that, I ended up recording that album at Raph's. We did a track called Weapons of Mass Deception. And it was on that Empty-Handed Warriors album with Anyway Jones. And Legitimate came on that track. And just that night, we just vibed out and we're like, yo, let's make a group.
We made like 3 tracks that night, I think.
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
ended up being like Call of the Warchild, Weapons of Mass
Call of the Warchild,
Deception
yeah.
in like no time. Like,
And it was,
all
that was, you know.
really quickly.
So then it became a group, and then slowly it just started building. Every member of our group is naturally within the group. It's like Fresco P, one day we were in Kitchener.
Yeah.
And the energy he brought to the stage, like, every group goes through turmoil, this and that, and like there's always someone bringing balance, and that's what family is, you know. So at a perfect time, Fresco came just as someone else who needed a studio space, and he brought balance to the group. So one day in Kitchener, on stage, the energy he had, it was like automatic. In the middle of the set, I'm like, yo, welcome the newest member of Babylon Warchild, Fresco P. Kind of how it happened with K too, you know.
With me, I was like, I used to do a lot of shows with the group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like a side arm on the group, just an affiliate. So then one day, spontaneously, I was inducted at a Hamilton show.
So like actually on the first album, this guy's a feature, and so is Fresco, which is crazy.
Definitely.
And like they became part of the group, which we're all happy about.
But we have a lot of side like family, you know. Big up Lalo from School of Two Swords.
And
you know what I mean?
Black.
Big up Black, Dynamo.
yeah.
Like, but the thing is, right now, this is Babylon Warchild, and this is what you guys will expect. So when you hear our sounds as individual artists and our sounds when you come together like Voltron, this is the sound you should start expecting. Unknown Misery, KDB, Rumpelstilts, Fresco P, and Legitimate.
Yeah.
And Unknown Misery, elaborate on your Juno nomination.
Yes, okay, yo, that was like, basically it was on the Dim Sum album when I was really young. You know, I didn't understand the industry too much, probably for good reasons, you know. And I don't know, there's an album with DJ Sirius called Dim Sum. There's 3 12-inches promoting that album, and then that album got Juno nominated, and the singles, whatever, got Juno nominated, which was, I was on one of those, on all 3 of those singles, you know what I mean? I didn't get much industry love at the moment, you know, that's the honest truth. But the good that came out of it is that I used that personally to catapult a lot of the other experiences that I got to receive. So yeah, that was how my Juno nomination came about. Basically through the Dim Sum album and DJ Sirius, tracks like Trapdoors and Childhood Zen with Decisive.
And then Rumpelstilts, share on your father's motivation of being a Juno Award winner, and yourself now playing the electric cello.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's always been tough to live up to like my family's like musical background and shit, because it's a very deep and like long-reaching and recorded background. So yeah, I don't know. I could only hope to ever achieve anything close to what my dad did in classical music in Canada with hip hop in Canada, but I could always try, and it would, I don't know, it would be a partial goal of mine, slightly. But yeah, so definitely, it's hard. it would be hard to do that, but I would like to try.
And now, KDB, you're part of the group, one of the newest members. Share about your skill in being brought into the group and your record with St. Peter.
St. Peter. All right, well, I come from, you know what I mean, area Swansea Mews. I first started off with a group called Crooks of the Round Table. We were young, street little, like, you know what I mean, street hoodlums, street intelligent hoodlums, you know, and we kind of left a bad mark on the industry, and we kind of got banned from the industry early. And, but, you know, we had a following, you know what I mean, abroad. And I, like, was affiliated after with a group called Poor Man Militia with the Archaeologists.
Bam, bam.
And it's funny because the Archaeologists used to listen to our music, Crooks of the Round Table, and we all used to hang out. And in some sense, you know what I'm saying, we kind of inspired the Archie to, like, you know what I mean, do what they're doing. So when I would start working with the Archaeologists, it was like already, like, you know what I mean?
It's like natural.
Yeah, it was natural. It was a togethering that was like already birthed, you know? So then they were doing their thing, and when I came to the studio and everyone was working, it's like we all just formed this group, Poor Man Militia, you know?
It was one of the most natural things. Like,
Yeah,
one of the
so-
most natural groups I was ever a part of. 9 members, all powerful MCs on their own, you know?
So this group developed, and through whatever adversities we all go through life, you know what I'm saying, everything else, people parted, went their own way, started doing their own things, and me, I started venturing off more on my solo ventures within my artistry. And I have a ton of albums which I still haven't released, and during the moment, you know what I'm saying, I started like working with different producers. Then I hooked up with a producer, St. Peter, and we started collaborating on a few singles, and then we started like figuring, you know what, we should do a whole album together, what's not. So we came with some album concepts, and Within the Solace was one on the table, then ran with that. The first song I did for the Within the Solace album, which is that right there, was a Continuum. You know what I mean?
It's my favorite song.
That was actually the first song on the album, and we were supposed to get like guys like Pharrell Monch on it, but that didn't fall through. And we ended up getting Killer Priest, King David, Solomon Childs, My Man Unknown Misery, D Price, and Sweats.
We actually did a lot of like reuniting with this album, man. Like
Yeah.
me and your work after PMM.
Yeah.
It was like this album. You invited me to do these
This was
tracks,
like
and
a
then from
big
there it
feature on the
became.
album still.
I got a lot of love on this
Yeah.
album, man.
So that album is like very incited with like a lot of like, you know what I mean, conspiracy theories and like religion and just life, general life, you know what I mean, just meshed together, trying to like make it more on that, like, you know what I mean, heavy mental type aspect of music, right? So that's where that music stands. And we went on tour with Babylon Warchild the year before last year, across Canada, you know what I'm saying? And we were promoting the Epitaph, which was a compilation CD, and we were promoting the album before the album came, trying to do that. So everything just came and mishmashed naturally. So, you know what I'm saying? With the grace of God, I'm here with the group.
Everything was natural, man.
Everything just falls into
We
place.
all had a different powerful element. You know what I mean? We're all like different individuals. We deal with things differently. We're all grown men. We've all grown differently. You know what I mean? But we're here for the same cause, and that's why like we always end up making it work, because there's a bigger picture beyond everything, you know?
I think the biggest thing about being an artist is finding a way to like keep yourself relevant and reinvent your craft, you know what I mean? But still keep it along the same lines, where it's like you can still affect the people in the ways you like to. And sometimes, you know what I mean, if it's like renaming yourself, like my name KDB constantly will change, but the syllables will stay the same, you know what I mean? But I use the different names for different projects, which will allow me to like come at you different, you know what I mean? So
It's artistic, you know?
yeah.
That's incredible how I heard about the record through Killer Priest.
Okay.
Peace to Killer Priest.
Okay.
He's Killer Priest.
He's the priest.
And
man.
tell us
Heavy
about the
mental.
Empty-Handed Warriors.
Okay, Empty-Handed Warriors. All right, that's like a whole lie. That's like a new interview. But yeah, basically, it was an album at first with Anyway Jones and with Stilts. That's how like this whole Babylon Warchild sparked off in reality. And we went to Europe, and when we went to Europe for the first time, I was always like a person that like realized how to build with people. Like that's one thing, you know. I have a lot of flaws, but one of the gifts that I recognize in my own self is to understand that I understand how to bring people together. You know what I mean? So when I was out there, it was like I seen a lot of opportunity, a lot of hungry artists and people on a grassroots level that were kind of like boggled on like how we got out there. Because people be like, yo, you guys are traveling the world, you must be rich, you blah, blah. It's like, no.
We are rich.
We're
man.
rich in our spirits. You know
That's
what I mean?
Bob Marley, man.
Yeah.
Bob Marley said we rich.
We're rich. Yo, we're rich in our spirits, and that's why we get out there. We build with people, and like we make our dreams come to fruition, you know, and it's happening. Every tour we do, it gets better and better, you know what I mean? So, and that's why Empty-Handed Warriors started. We started building with people, and we're like, yo, let's start this collective called Empty-Handed Warriors. Because that name from the album, from when I even had made that album name, I always thought of that in the back of my mind as something. It's like, it'll be a sick movement of some sort. So it became an artist collective instead of a movement, because whenever you call things movements, they mess up. You know, trust me. You know? So it became more of an artist collective, and we have people like PSL from East Garden Music, all the East Garden, Crucifix in Slovakia, Psychodrama in Greece, you know. Now we got our brother from China, fucking
Nasty Ray.
From
China.
China.
Hold it down.
You know, and like
Ray.
basically around the world, it's all artists. And what happened for a minute, it did get out of hand. So it is, hopefully this gets out sooner than later, you know, because things get lost. You need to put this out. But yo, the thing is, yo, there's a lot of things get tainted. And the reason, it's like when you leave a legacy behind like Empty-Handed Warriors, and a lot of people I've seen within 1 year what happened. People wanted to latch onto it so badly, they just started saying they're a part of it. And that's cool, I wanted that. But to be an empty-handed warrior, to me, I'm not trying to leave a legacy behind as someone who started representing underground hip-hop. People don't have to speak of what they speak about. Hip-hop's hip-hop. I ain't gonna judge anyone's hip-hop, you know? You express yourself in any way possible. However, to me, I can't leave something behind as empty-handed warriors where it's like, we don't talk about raping women and fucking this, that, you know what I mean? We speak about music with a message. We are warriors with empty hands who have nothing, and we make something out of it. So that's why there's a revamp, and in July this year, the site will be back up. The site was taken down temporarily to revamp things, to bring clarity to what it really stands for, and to let people know that not anyone can just say they're an empty-handed warrior, you know? Because nowadays people's grandmothers are starting to rap because it's a cool thing to do, you know?
And the album Babylon Warchild, tell us more about the album and how it went.
Set it off, man. I've been like rambling.
You got the CD for us to see?
Yeah, CD's right there. So this is like 2011 now, I guess. So 2 years old.
It's timeless music, though. I'll tell you that.
Respect.
I
It
feel
came
that
out
way.
2013.
No, 2011. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It was basically set off by that Empty-Handed Warrior project, and then legit, me and this guy decided to. He actually legit came up with the name, so props to legit.
Yes, man.
He was like, we need an in-your-face name that people will remember, and then my homie came up with the logo, who lives in New York, who's an ill art director, and I don't know, the combination of a name and a good artwork definitely helped us.
Basically,
at first,
that did the
and
most,
then good
man.
music. And good music.
Yo, how many years have we all
top.
been making music on our own, you know, and putting our hearts into it? And it's
Yeah.
like, really, this has been the fastest thing that grew. So like beyond everything, it's not like just a brand, but it is a brand. But at the same time, beyond being a brand, it's like love. The only thing that makes this go and keep moving is people supporting us. Mm-hmm. Heads out there, promoters. A lot of the promoters that book us are just heads. They're hip hop heads who want to see some shit happen, and they'll dig into their pockets to make sure we can at least get by. You know what I mean? Because we're not greedy fucking people. You know what I mean? But we need to get by. We have children to feed as well. You know what I mean?
And selling more than 6,000 records.
Well, that's the only way we live, man. Like when we go on the streets, like when we go on tour, so people know, I'm going on tour with, like I said in the track, Getaway. The video's out online right now. Getaway from the Busking in Bombay album. And it's, I say it right there. Yo, on tour at Euro with 200 euros and a spindle of CDs. You know? Mm. And that's literally, that's no lie or no exaggeration. We go out there with hardly nothing. The people get us by. People who love culture, love art, and love a good message get us by.
And it wasn't just like luck. Like we actually did a lot of like things to like market ourselves and also put ourselves out there, and also like not wait for something to just drop in your lap for like, you know what I mean? Like you can't just make awesome music and then wait around and hope that somebody's just gonna walk through the door and be like, here you go, here's a tour to Europe, here's this and that. It's like, no.
Yo, I stopped this saying back in the day.
yourself.
Opportunity don't knock.
Yeah.
Who lied to you? Opportunity don't knock. Get on the grind, will you?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you can't just wait around and like expect stuff to happen. Like you have to know and be smart about like how you get your music out there. For anybody else who wants to try and get their music listened to, like it's hard, you know what I mean? It's never easy to get music listened to.
It's hard because it's
we're
like
happy
flooded with
it.
a lot of garbage, but at the same time we have a lot of more opportunity and avenues to use. Like everything's a double-edged sword. Like technology is bad, but it's great at the same time. You know, like
there's way more avenues for you to get your music out.
Yeah.
we get across the
Even
world.
even the wackest people get their music out. So you know,
So I'm
just
saying.
never sleep on yourself.
Yeah.
And the Gatekeepers compilation. Let us know how that went for you.
That, to me, that was one of my personal favorites. To me, this album represents what Babylon Warchild sounds like more.
Yeah.
And I think we all agree,
I feel that
like,
too.
because it's less features and it's just us, right? So it's us. But then the Gatekeepers, it's like tracks that are, this was way too short, people said to us.
It definitely is.
Gatekeepers was way
Yeah,
too
yeah.
long.
Gatekeepers is
Because
way too
every
long.
track was like so many features. But yo, I got to like do collaborations with artists that I grew up listening to, you
Yeah.
know? So it was an honor even doing that shit.
So I was saying that
Felt good.
Gatekeepers album could have been a double album.
Yeah,
It
it
could've,
probably
yeah.
could have been. Yeah.
Like Gaddafi was on it. It's like, yo, we did a track with Tragedy Gaddafi, and he's like
Sadat
a
Aggs.
good, humble dude. So everyone featured on that album. Another thing isn't no dickheads that you pay for features and
Yeah.
they have their heads in their asses or in the clouds. You know what I mean?
Those
Everyone
those
on that
verses
album-
we didn't use.
Those verses we didn't even use because we'll pay them and like we'll lose our money. We don't even need to mention those artists. They get enough
Yeah.
hype, you know. But beyond all that, the good artists are on Gatekeepers. All the features we got on there, C-Rays, Wordsworth, like all these dudes are really humble,
Shout outs to Wordsworth,
good people, man.
Wordsworth.
Good people in the industry that care about artistry, you know.
Yeah.
And part one, many tours, the Free World Order, share on the journey to Europe, and then the Stomp Down show in Alberta, what you guys did last year together with Lord Luss, incredible across Canada. That was with Ali.
Ali the
That was
Hash
Ali.
Bill. Shout out Ali the
Yeah,
Hash.
Ali, yeah.
He's actually DJ'd for Ali the Hash, who's here tonight. He's DJ'd for Master Ace across Canada and Wordsworth and Strickland
Yeah.
at their last Canadian tour. So
Awesome.
it's his good heart, man. He gets his good heart and his love for the culture gets him a lot of places. You know what I mean?
And
So
anything
to
you
see.
can tell us about the Europe tour that you guys did?
Okay, maybe. Okay.
That was your first experience too
Well,
with us, like the
Europe
original
tour,
you know?
man. You know what I'm saying? Yo, big up to one night in Dusseldorf. You know what I'm saying? No, but it was a great experience. You know, it was very embracing.
Amazing.
Just being in a whole different part of the world where you could see people living their culture and how people are receptive to what you do.
Straight.
It's just, yeah, it's a great experience and it's very spiritual, especially when, you know what I'm saying, people don't understand what you're saying, but when they're coming to you after you perform, they're showing gratitude.
You see it in their eyes,
Appreciation
you
is
know,
like-
like tears
Almost
sometimes.
like- it's like, wow, like really my music like touched this person to the point where it's like this guy looked like he's gonna murder me, but he looked like he wants to cry and to shake my hand, and it's like wow. And then we did like
Crazy.
Greece, which was crazy because
Like psychodrama, yo, mad love to psychodrama and all of the family love you
Shout
showed
out.
us and all the people out there, man.
hip hop in like Greece was like really unexpected the way how, you know what I'm saying,
still
it
miss
turned
them.
out.
Turned out and forced, and they're like all revolutionaries out there. Like
Yeah.
everybody's a revolutionary out there. So
We
Everybody.
performed at our first show was like sold out. The second show was at a squat. It was outside a squat the day before a protest. It was like the
Yeah.
launch of a protest. And in Greece, they don't protest like no Canadian protest. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
your
that
guy, yo,
headline,
Vancouver's
headline.
hockey protests are worse than a regular protest in Canada. You know what I mean? And those hockey protests ain't shit compared to fucking a Greece protest. You know, they're burning banks and shit.
Bernie Banks and throwing
Yeah.
burning
Molotovs
police
at-
officers. And there's
Yeah,
like
police-
police on fire.
Oh, another thing before I forget about Europe is a time machine. They're on a time machine. Back to the Future, flux capacitator of hip hop. They're sitting on that shit. And like they are stuck in the 90s. And a
don't
message
think
to
that
Europe
they're
if y'all see
stuck.
it: do not leave. Wherever you're stuck, exactly,
I
you're
don't
not
think they're
stuck.
It's that they truly understand the appreciation of art.
A lot of it's new though. Like hip hop culture is really new out there in a lot of places.
In a
You
lot
know,
of places, but to the places like Berlin and like
Yeah,
where
yeah.
hip hop like thrives, like
A lot of hip hop
you
there.
could tell like they appreciate the art, the sound, you know what I'm saying? The certain schematics, the schemes of rhymes, and like
The different aspects of the
Yeah,
culture, yeah.
right.
They get it. Yo, be real as you are, Europe, man. Because, Europe is one of the havens for any underground artist out there who wants to go and take a risk. And you might sleep on the street for a night. You might sleep in a great hotel for a night.
They might
man.
sleep in the train station in Amsterdam, you know what I'm saying? Wondering
You might
where the
sleep
fuck
inside
you
a
might
beautiful
eat the
lady,
next
you know what I
day,
mean?
Trying to sleep, you know what I'm saying? Getting no
It's all
sleep,
luck of the
unable to
days.
sleep in a coffee
never know.
shop,
In
you
a
know what I'm
coffee
saying?
shop.
People kicking
Or
you
maybe
off
just
the
getting on a
door.
bus, sleeping until the bus goes to the last stop because you have nowhere to sleep for the night.
Yeah.
But, that's real hip-hop. And, we're balling in our spirits. And that's how we go out there. And that's what Free World Order, that led to, like, all of our other Europe tours. And, like, every year I'll say one thing. It's been getting better and better and better. We've been creating more. We've been seeing... The good thing about not being part of a major monster industry is that we look at the seeds, we touch the soil, we plant the seeds, we water the soil, we come back next year and we see it grow. You know what I mean? And eventually we're going to eat the fruits off of that tree.
And reap our benefits.
You know?
And now part 2, Asia tour. Let us know.
Oh man, it was the best thing ever, man. Nothing. Yo, we were out there with Bruce Lee, Lee Chung Wao, all that crazy shit, you know what I'm saying? They held us on a pedestal in the monastery, they had us up, Buddha, chilling everything on top of the mountains. The fly shit you ever experienced, inhaled all the toxins and pollutions you ever inhaled. You know what I'm saying? Coughed up 1,000 lungs. It was like, you know what I mean? Soju up until you fucking feel fucking, like ground was hitting you in the face, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nah, man, no,
A lot of people.
No, seriously, Asia, honestly, Asia was a really good experience. Again, what we did in Asia this time is what we did a few years ago in Europe. We went there to plant seeds because no one's going to help you do anything.
It was hard, man.
So we did it. It was a
hard.
struggle, but I'll tell you, beyond, like, the hard times, like, we're not going to come and paint shit. Like, we're making it rain because we keep it real. Like, we haven't forgot the element of what keeping it real is. We're not ashamed of telling you how it was.
One of our biggest things that kept us, you know what I'm saying, in alignment with what we're doing in Asia was
What, the Canadians?
All the Canadians based out in
And
Asia.
every place, the Canadians actually helped us.
Yeah,
held us
everywhere.
down, you know what I'm saying? And then we were
Across
fortunate.
Asia. There's
Man,
all
look, yo,
Canadians.
We're fortunate.
man.
And that's
420,
why
baby.
Canada,
That's 420.
you have, you know what I'm saying, manufactured some great people.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what I mean?
fully.
Yo, big up to Paige. Big up to Ahmed. You know what I
Ahmed,
mean?
you know what I'm saying?
Big,
Big up-
mad
and
good
also
people. Vandal.
Big
I
up
think
to-
everyone needs to go to like one of these countries
on,
to
man.
like
Don't
really
forget
respect and like
Adam.
understand
Forget Adam.
what it's like to be like in Canada and how lucky we are to live in an awesome country like this. That
Yeah, straight up.
Real
Real
a lot of the time we
opportunities.
take for granted. You know what I mean? That and like that's not being said that Canada's all perfect and fucking. I
Which
love.
we ain't.
Well, hip hop opportunities.
that-
You know what the thing is, man. Yo, basically, like to put in a nutshell of what Asia was like. Asia was a good place. We were there just planting seeds. So we had moments when we couldn't just sell CDs on the streets because of language barriers. It wasn't like Europe where on dead time while we're planting seeds we could do that. When you plant seeds, it's hard because it's like before harvest season, the farmer works real hard. You know what I mean? Doesn't see anything. So all he sees is work. So we're just seeing the work right now where it's not even harvest time yet. And fuck, it was hard times, but we know one thing. In every place we went, from South Korea to all over China to Kuala Lumpur and Malaysia, when we go back next year, I already know it's going to be twice as good than it was this year because we're going to have less dead space because we planted those seeds. And we're going to be doing a lot of good shows with a lot of good people. Busan had over 400 people at the show. We had, I'm just naming the highlights. Guangzhou had like a crazy guy trying to fight me because I sat beside an Asian girl. But regardless of all that stuff, fucking, that show was amazing. Really good vibes. The sound was amazing. Beijing, we had a great show in Beijing in the basement. Fucking after, it was like a last minute show.
Hammered in Hong Kong beyond any sort of.
It was a cultural experience, man. We planted good musical seeds, and it was also a very spiritual experience, man. It was a time to reflect on a lot of things. So when you come back here, you see the difference. Like the more parts of the world that you touch, the bigger your understanding of yourself becomes. You know what I mean?
And Unknown Misery, share about your brand new record, Busking in Bombay.
I love it. I love that shit. Yo, why do you have a copy? Leave all that. Okay, boom. Busking in Bombay. Basically, this is very important to me because the albums with the archaeologists, like Poor Man Militia, that was a big moment in my life, in my music career. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of my stuff really sounds great over the Archaeologists, automatically. And this album, first I did the Devil's Pie on God's Plate, and that album took a few months to do. Then this album, I went and I did it within 4 or 5 days. He made the beats on the spot, I wrote the lyrics, recorded the tracks. It was like 100% natural, and to me it's one of my favorite albums because it was more of a dream, basically. I'm dreaming about going back to India. I'm dreaming about the things I'm talking about. I'm dreaming about being in Calcutta on Tuesday, you know? And I got there, kind of, when I went to Malaysia. So I was like shooting scenes of the video from Getaway, the first track on this album. And I was shooting scenes for the video. These guys are helping me do all this shit, like we're just doing it grassroots style, you know? And we ended up going to Malaysia, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck all those other shots. This is the closest to India, the closest to the way I could capture the dream visually on a camera at this moment, financially, you know? And it worked, man. So this album means a lot to me. Listen to the album, man. It's one of my favorite albums of myself.
Album,
and I'm not even a dude that, I'm a dude that when I love my shit, I try to get too humble, and I can't say it's that good. But I love this shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
it's one of
download
your
it.
best albums, I think.
Download it. Yeah, man.
And for each of you, the largest crowd and the best tour you've ever rocked.
We have to do this individually.
Oh man,
You can set it off. Let's go in a row. It's got to be individual.
I don't know. Largest crowd would probably be
I feel-
Switzerland and Onyx, maybe. Like opening for Onyx in Switzerland, that was pretty big.
Okay, it
That
can't
was
be
like
individual anymore.
2,000 or something crazy, ridiculous.
Onyx was huge. Fine.
But you know what? I've played classical concerts that were bigger than that. But whatever.
Shit, right? Boo.
Maybe that won't count. But yeah, that's probably the biggest hip hop crowd that I've rocked ever.
Yo, honestly, man, to me, Greece was one of my
Greece is the
favorites
best.
because
Yeah,
it
that's,
was
like, one
packed
of my favorite shows.
and everyone was like this, like
You know what?
crazy energy,
The
man.
thing about Greece show, here's the thing. We were there, nobody was in the place. Nobody. Literally 10 minutes I was at the hotel sitting down.
I took a
Another
little
10
nap,
minutes
like a
I was
2-minute
lying
nap.
down. Dude came running in and was like, yo, the place is packed. Like, what are you talking about? I just left the joint. He's like, no, man, seriously, the place is packed. I'm like, when I went there,
People on the side of the streets,
Wow,
like inside,
wow,
people
wow,
like, yo,
wow.
going crazy. I'm just like, yo,
it
what?
was messed up because
They wanted us to perform for like 4 hours or something.
We did like a
crazy.
three?
Yeah, like, I don't even remember how long.
I
we
think
performed.
I went through like 2 shirts. Drenched. One girl was like, oh, do the shirt.
Yo,
I was
we
like,
freestyled
I wish
for
I
an
never
hour
gave
50.
that girl that shirt
You
because it
needed
was
that.
my psychodrama shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you gave that away?
Sweating, you know what I mean? I was
That's
like,
why she
shit.
wanted that shirt, man. Not because of the sweat. It's a psychodrama.
So I gave the girl a shirt, put on another shirt. I was like, shit, crazy.
And how many people?
Oh man.
400, maybe 5. I don't know. That was a pretty big
It was
place.
just awesome.
It was like an
because
opera
in
house
Greece
size
and it
place.
was like ram packed.
And everybody just like loved the message. It was like about the message, the culture. Like you felt the love.
There was one.
Yo, not next spot though. Freetown.
yeah,
Freetown, Christiana.
But-
The crowd wasn't that big.
Go back to Greece. There's one moment where we were singing the song, and my man must have said, fuck the police.
Oh shit.
And literally for a good like 15
We
minutes,
couldn't continue.
we couldn't continue the track because everybody was
Fuck the police.
Yo, man.
it was just reverberating. We're like, oh
And then we
man.
like finish the song, and then some dudes would just try starting the chant again, like every time. And like,
Every
that
time
would
there was
stop.
any dead space within our tracks, like where we have to talk, boom, we couldn't. We
It
have
was
to say
just
fuck the
like,
police.
Oh man.
At the protest the next day, same thing. It's
Yeah.
like,
And there's pure undercovers around us at the protest, so that was even worse.
and we were like pointing the undercovers out during the protest, during the show.
We know what undercovers look like.
Yeah.
The moral of the story is Greek people love hip hop and
And we love
protesting.
Greece. Yo,
And we
whenever
love
this
Greece.
comes out, I want all the heads there to know, like, more than money can ever give us, man, ever in life. It's like, yo, we love the love we get from Greece, man.
Yeah.
Straight up. I do. I'll
Actually,
speak for myself.
We love the love we get and the experience from traveling, doing what we love.
100% from everywhere, man.
That's-
But Greece,
that's more
I
than-
will live there.
That's more than anything.
You know what I mean?
If you're gonna fly us out to every show, give us just enough to get by, You know what I'm saying?
We're happy, man, but don't
We're
leave us
happy.
on the street, son.
Don't-
Because we will take your turntables if we have to.
Make us pay our way to come there.
But
and
we're
then,
nice
you know
guys.
What I'm saying? You Jim screeches us on our payment, and then you don't provide us for a place to rest our head.
Yeah.
That's some foul ass shit.
Like, we'll ask you for nothing, but we expect.
The world.
And shows from Onyx, Dead Prez, Exhibit, the homie Socrates, Maestro Fresh
What?
West, the Arsonists.
Pharaoh
The
Monch.
best one, Pharaoh Monch.
Pharaoh.
That was a good one at Canadian Music Week.
Oh, man.
Pharaoh Monch,
Love
fuck,
it.
man. Opening. Yo, okay, how about this? Opening the best acts I've seen. Like, not how it felt to open for them, but how it felt to watch them perform. Would be Onyx and Public Enemy.
Yeah.
Amazing energy. There's no way Chuck D is over the age of 30. The way he runs from one side of the stage to the other
No.
for 1 hour and then doesn't lose his voice. There's no way he's younger than me. Impossible. Or older than me. Because, man, I'll lose my voice at that time.
Chuck has to have his monitors nice. They
Because,
must
yo,
be nice. The way
Chuck
he
is
uses it-
killing that shit. Like, he jumps from this side to that side. There's not a moment when he's not moving on stage. You know? And Onyx was just crazy. Like, yo, I remember I was sweating more for Onyx show in Switzerland than for our set. We did our set, then I left, and then Onyx came on, and I was on the side, like, literally stopping myself to go on stage. I'm like, yo, wilding out, I have to pull myself back and shit.
Crazy.
That shit was crazy, man. I grew up on that shit. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
And for the each of you, your best hip hop memory you've been part of or contributed to.
Wow.
Man, gotta pause this for a second.
I don't know. I know mine, I think, was recording Jizza in my house or at his hotel room, or Wordsworth in my house. Those are like, that's pretty ill. I enjoyed that fully, so kind of like a
I know. I remember.
small dream come true. I don't know, what do you guys...
I'd say.
Oh snap, son! I got one, dog.
Do it. I got one in my head right
All
now.
right, Varsity Arena, man. Varsity Arena. There was show with the Death Squad, I think. The whole EPMD camp was at our Varsity. Redman, Keith Murray, all these guys, and whatever was not. And the show wasn't really popping, so they start getting upset. Like, yo, where's my money? You know what I'm saying? I was like, shit. These guys are about to fight.
Yeah.
So 2-2s, these guys are fighting. Redman grabs his fire extinguisher, starts spraying it in the crowd. Keith Murray must have got knocked. Some Yankee dude's fighting against this Nova Scotian dude, and everyone left the stage. And me, I was like, damn, turntables. I ran on stage and grabbed myself 2 cases of motherfucking techniques and the shit, and I ran off and shit. Sold that shit for $3 bills a pop.
Classic.
I was like,
Classic.
damn, that's my best hip hop.
I just heard this in Asia too. I didn't know for all these years, but that's a classic story.
Shit. I'm sorry too, cause I think, you know what I'm saying, there were probably one of the DJs like DJ Scratch or whatever, DJ's turntables or whatnot, but you know, I was young and hungry, man.
Yeah,
Doing
exactly.
my thing for hip hop.
You
You
still
know?
accept some beats for free?
They probably had insurance.
Yeah, they probably were insured. Their
Sure,
technique.
yeah,
They had at least 8 techniques in the case on stage, so shit.
Probably didn't bring his techniques from America.
Yo, I remember my one, man. My one might not be the best moment, but it was like the most like strange, memorable moment that I thought about. Being in a holding cell in City Hall, Toronto,
Oh shit.
with Ja Rule. And him coming inside and me standing up thinking automatically he's someone I know. Because every time you meet someone you know and it's not an automatic negative vibe, negative face, you want to like say hello because it feels good. You know? Not that they're in there suffering too, but it's like, you know what I mean? There's someone else there. So yo, I see the dude. He gets inside the middle of the thing. My boy too. He's in there. And then I'm like, I get up and I go by the middle. He's standing right by the middle. I get up from my seat, the only seat there. I get up, I look at him. I'm like, hold on. I look down at his hand. He has his head down and thing, man. And I'm like, I look back at my boy. I'm like, for real? My boy starts laughing. Like, he just hysterically, you know? Gillo, you know what I mean? He starts, yo, shut up to Gillo, man. He starts laughing fucking heavy.
Poor man militia.
Poor man militia. And then, yo, I look at the dude and he sits down on my seat. I don't care, man. Whatever. It's Ja Rule. Let me spit him a verse. So, yo, he sits down. I stand right above him. I'm a short dude, yo. Trust me, yo. So I'm like standing right above me, sitting down, his head's to the ground. I look on his hand. It says Ja Rule. I'm like, yo, are you who I think you are, man? He's like, I'm like, yo, so you're Ja Rule. You who I think you are. He's like, yeah. I'm just like, yo, man, unknown misery, bro. I'm gonna spit you a verse. He's like. So I'm like, all right, yo, so check it out, man. Yo, unknown misery, man. Unknown misery, all right? Poor man militia, unknown misery. And then I spit him a verse. Soon as the verse was done, boom, the guard comes out, takes him to gallivant him to the next spot. You know, because they're just running him around the basement that day, man. People were like singing, like, what would you do without bail? Oh. Fucked up shit. But that was my weirdest memory from life in hip hop, man. I'm glad I got that out on camera, because usually that's a private message. You know what I mean?
And you guys have anything to say to your fans worldwide?
Yo, we love you, man. No, really.
Yeah.
Without you guys giving a fuck, we would be just a sound in a basement. You know what I mean? We'd be sound on a second story studio. We'd just be a sound in my headphones. Without you guys showing us love, we'd be nothing but a sound wave and a thought. So we thank you very much, man.
And more than loving you, I love you, man.
We're just happy that people care and listen to our music.
Sure.
Like, it's just amazing. You know, for so many years, we've all made music and nobody's cared.
All I want is people to hear what we have to say. Like, yeah, for sure, yo. We love the comfort of being able to get by with doing what we love and take care of our family. And you know what? I would love to be rich, because when I'm rich, I wouldn't have Corvettes. I'd be building community centers. And that's why for people like us, it's much harder. But we're going to keep going, keep building for the right reason, doing what we love. And because of all the fans out there, that's the reason that we can still keep doing it without being depressed every day. So thank you very much. That's why we travel the world, and that's how it's possible. Our fans hook it up for us.
And you got any shouts?
Fresco P, Free Fresco P, legitimate. Justice.
A million people. I don't even want to
there's a lot of people, all the empty-handed warriors who can keep it real from the get-go.
Toronto Hip Hop Barbershop, holding me down, letting me go on tour, you know what I'm saying?
Archaeologist Productions.
For a spot to get back, my whole play act, Crooks of the Round, Swansea Muse.
All the original Poor Man Militia.
Eglinton West.
Lawrence West. Weston Road.
Downtown.
Keel Strip.
Everything.
Man. All the people who love and hate me, man.
Everywhere. And even special shout out to Hip Hop Canada for never promoting none of our stuff. And never putting any of our music online and making sure all of our music gets blacklisted. Thank you very much for that. We love you.
Yo, shout out to homeboy Jimmy holding us down in Taiwan. Home Slice, don't forget it. You know what I'm saying? Don't tell my wife.
Home Skillet.
And shouts to Ali and the homies Unknown Misery and Rumpelstilts and KDB of the Babylon Warchild. And this is the Archivist, and you already know the name, y'all.
Peace to Lunettes.com all day, every day. Archivist, mad love, bro.
Yeah, real shit, baby.